Hi, welcome in.
Thanks.
So nice to have you here today.
It's great to be here.
So let's just start off. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your ultra marathon running and
Yeah, sure. So, Amelia, I graduated from North Shore in 2001. Among other things, run ultramarathon. So, any distance longer than a marathon. And my favorite distance is the 200 plus mile race.
that's awesome. What's been your favorite marathon that you've run?
Gosh, they're all so different.
Mhm.
Last year I ran a race from Phoenix to Flagstaff,
Wow.
250 miles, the Cocodona 250. That was incredible, partly because uh, just the difference in terrain, right? You start in the desert and it's typical desert, super hot. And then by the end, you're getting up into the mountains and into Flagstaff, and it's totally different, colder,
Mhm.
but absolutely beautiful. We went through Sedona, the Granite Dells, just all these remarkable spaces that you can't get to generally, get to see things you can't see
Yeah.
by car, only by foot. So, um, yeah, just gorgeous.
Well, that's amazing. How did you get into ultra marathon running?
Yeah, well, I was always did a lot of sports in high school here, but didn't you know after graduating, uh, going to college, like what is a way to stay in shape, and so started doing. Did my first half marathon with a group of friends in law school, and then it's like, okay, well, maybe I can do a marathon, and then did that. And then I heard about these friends who had done 50 miles. I was like, wow, 50 miles. Like, could I do that? And then did a 50 miler. It was like, whoa, if I can do 50 miles, maybe I can do 100. And then did that. And that was it was so incredible, an incredible experience. And then I heard about these 200 milers and did those and have it's such an amazing community and just incredibly empowering to do something that's like, wow, I don't think I can accomplish this. And then you do.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And what's the training look like for all those
Oh, yeah. So it's actually not super different than training for a marathon, right? I try and run 4 to 5 days a week, and my weekday runs might be an hour and a half. And then I'll have like a 3 or 4 hour run on the weekends, and then I will build. So then I will usually have one intensive weekend where I just go out into the mountains and I run, uh, you know, 6 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours just on the Appalachian Trail. And so it's just a really cool experience to just get out there and be out there in the woods. And so I'll do that. And then usually that's enough to train me for a 200-mile race or 100-mile race. I've also done what I call exhaustion week, which is where I get up for 5 days straight. I get up super, super early, try and run 15 to 20 miles before work, go to work, come back. And then, after the kids are in bed, I might try and run or get on the bike for a little bit
Wow.
until late in the evening, get a little bit of sleep and try and do that for
Wow.
a few days.
That's incredible.
And that gets me ready. Yeah.
And then you just mentioned your work a little, transitioning a little bit. What do you do for your day job?
Yeah, so I work as at a Quaker advocacy organization. So I work on advancing peace and justice policy on Capitol Hill. And so we work with Quakers and friends of friends around the country to help them develop relationships with their members of Congress to push for and get the political will to advance policies that will reduce poverty, hunger, both here in the United States and around the world, address climate change, and advance peace. And then I'm often on the Hill as a lobbyist to try and advance these policies as well.
Wow, that's incredible. And is there any way that you sort of see like your marathon world and your work world merging in your life?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think ultra running is such a great metaphor for life, and certainly the work that I do, right? We often talk in my job about the world we seek. We seek a world free of war and the threat of war, a world where a society where every person's potential may be fulfilled, a society with equity and justice for all, and then an earth restored. And that's such a big vision that it is hard to imagine that reality, right? Given where we are. And yet it is a long distance kind of ultra marathon. And so I often talk about how that vision of like 200 miles is so big, I can't wrap my head around it, as is the world that we are trying to accomplish. But the way we get through it or get there is like piece by piece, right? Aid station by aid station. So it's like, okay, well, I can see that tree. I can see the next policy that we need to do, or this is the like specific piece of legislation we need to work on in this moment. And together they will add up to hopefully get us to that bigger space.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. That's a very cool metaphor.
What about you? Where do you kind of see your career going or imagine, at this point in your life?
Well, as of now, I'm very much a STEM sort of person and I really like biology. So hopefully in college, I'll study biology. I'm going to Dartmouth next year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So yeah, I'm looking to sort of do research on the planet and everything related to like that biology sphere. And that's my plan right now. It could change when I go, but yeah.
So what do you like about biology?
There's a lot of things that I like. I think the fact that it's all around us is something really unique and sort of in everything that you see outside, there's like sort of mechanisms behind that I'm really interested in. And it's just really like we are biology, the outside world is biology, and it sort of connects us all.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah. So how did your experience here at North Shore Country Day as a student sort of shape your life events and your interest in ultramarathon running, your interest in politics and government? How did that shape you?
I love that question. I think one of the values that was so a part of my time in North Shore and really instilled with me was the importance and power of community. And that is such a big part of ultra running, right? We don't accomplish these races on our own. We can't. There are volunteers at the aid stations that are helping you fill your water, that are helping you refuel. Well, oftentimes just to like giving you a boost kind of spiritually and emotionally to keep going. And same thing on the course. Like it's, especially in ultra running, like if you finish a race, an hour or, even like 10 minutes slower or whatever, no one cares. No one's going to think, oh, you finished a 200-mile race in 92 hours and not 94 hours, right? Like that's not, but so it's not uncommon for folks to like, oh, yeah, I'll hang out and wait for you so we can run together in this. Oh, you need some fuel. Let me give you some more food, or I'll hang back while so that you can run with people. And so much of what I have found is when I get in really tough moments in a race, what I need to do, like society, I feel like tells us so often, if you're in a tough spot, just like put your head down, grit it out. And what I have learned from ultra running is, no, you need to look up and find someone and work with that person. And when you encourage them, they will then encourage that helps you, right? That motivates you. I feel like North Shore gave me that sense of community, that we're sort of all in this together and supporting each other in the same ways that I ran one season of winter track here and I loved it. I did the 50 meter, and I am not fast, right? There's a reason I run long distance. I'm not fast. So I was oftentimes the last person to finish. And yet I felt so welcomed and so celebrated for crossing that finish line. And as much a part of the team as the people who were like winning the event. And I feel like that's so similar to the culture of ultra running, where the last place finisher is oftentimes celebrated and cheered on more than the winner. So I think that sense of community is so, so powerful. Also, when I was at North Shore, public service was a real part of my time here. I was very active in the community service club and very active in student government. And now I have a career that's dedicated to that same sense of public service, of trying to advance the policies that we know are possible and will help bring about a better society and a better world.
So, if you could go back and talk to your younger self when you were here as a student in North Shore, what advice would you give them?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think I stressed out about a lot of stuff, right? It's easy. You've got a million things going on. I was in a bunch of activities and schoolwork and everything. It was a lot. And um it 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 all worked. Like it is all fine. It all kind of, I think everything that I was doing really prepared me well. And I think my time at North Shore, all the lessons that were being from the emphasis on community, about the emphasis on getting to know your teachers and building those relationships and how powerful and important those are.
So, now in your life, what are the ways that you stay connected to the North Shore community? Yeah.
So I always read kind of the alumni news and stuff like that. And when there is an alumni event in the DC area, I like to try and go if I can. My brother has also went to North Shore and has been active, and so I get a lot of news reports from him when he's back on campus or talking with folks there.
And for you, what does it mean to be an alum of North Shore?
For me, I mean, I just think about how foundational my time here was and how many lessons and uh, takeaways that I had that really prepared me so well for college and for my career. Like I learned leadership here at North Shore, and that has allowed me to be in the place of leadership that I am in my organization and in my community at work. Um, I learned so much about, as I was saying, like putting yourself out there, even trying stuff that you're not good at. Being on I feel like I was on stage a lot, right? Like
Yeah.
in Morning X's, we're oftentimes invited to present on things, and that has helped me kind of in my public speaking that I do. So there's just, I feel like there was a lot that I really treasure and value about my time here, and think about how much it has really shaped who I am and where I am today.
Yes. Yeah. That's amazing. So, now I have some fun little rapid fire questions for you. Let's start off with what was your favorite food in the cafeteria when you were here?
I actually I brought my lunch most of the time, so I can't actually remember, but yeah, so I don't have a good one for that one, but yeah.
That's okay. What about your favorite subject here?
I loved math. I loved history. But I found the teachers were so good that oftentimes it didn't matter if I was personally um, loved this subject matter or not. If it was if it was being taught well, I would enjoy that class.
Hmm. And do you have like a favorite memory that you can recall from your time at North Shore?
Oh gosh, there are certainly some like epic wins on the soccer
Yeah.
field that I remember. Certain things there, but I think it's like the people, right? I just really treasure and value both the friends I made, but also just the teachers that I had. I think it's really telling that um, I feel like even coming back now, I remember a lot of the teachers, even though I never actually took a class from them, right? And still 20 years later, can still really recall the influence that they had on my life, to where I am today.
Yeah. And seeing that you were sort of a morning X speaker today and talking about influences, is there any specific morning X that you can recall that really influenced you?
Yeah, I mean, there are a few. The one where the teachers talked about their experience running the Chicago Marathon, I definitely remember that. But I also remember I mean, it's kind of self-absorbed, but the number of times I was on stage in Morning X and how much I think that really helped me to do public speaking and feel comfortable doing public speaking throughout the rest of in my career today.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely prepares a student.
What about you? Is there like Morning X or any experience that you particularly, thinking about as you graduate that you're
Yeah.
going to be taking with you?
Well, I play soccer as well, and I just all those wins on the
Yeah,
soccer field,
yeah.
I'll always remember those and cheering with my
Yeah.
teammates. And there's been a lot of morning X's. We had a speaker come talk about his experience as a nature guide, which was really
Oh,
cool.
cool.
Your morning X is really interesting to me as well because I also have a passion for hiking, and although I haven't run any marathons or ultra marathons, it's along like the same lines of being outside and hiking on those trails. But yeah, I agree with you. I'll miss the people a lot. The friends I've made here, the teachers that have guided me have been really special.
Yeah. Cool.
Thank you so much for coming today. It was very nice talking to you.
Yeah. Likewise.
Thank you.